Mr. Ismail, this year, PropNex is celebrating 25th year anniversary. But we understand that the history actually goes a little bit longer than that.
I started off in 1996 as Norris Consultants, and we were then very much of a niche Malay Muslim real estate company. When I said that, simply is because 95% of our salespeople were all the Malay Muslim agents then. And we had a very dominant market. We were the largest Malay Muslim real estate company. And prior to that, if I just go a little bit in a very fast pace, Norris Consultants, that name is coined after my wife named Noraini, Nooris. My name, Ismail. That's how we started Norris Consultants in 1996. But before that, both of us were in the armed forces. Yep. My wife was an army officer. She left as a captain. And I was also in the armed forces in the guards unit. And I was a pensionable officer, actually.
Ah, okay.
And as a pensionable officer, I could have choose to remain in the armed forces. And at retirement, at 55, I could get close to, in fact, slightly more, depending on what is my last drawn salary, $1 million. And there was a calling within me that I enjoyed the army service, but I felt that maybe I wanted to explore something different, something a bit entrepreneurial. And that's where both of us, my wife and myself, we left the armed forces and we started our real estate business, which was Norris Consultants in 1996.
But why real estate specifically?
Both our families, my wife and my families, we come from not so well-to-do. So which means to say, we started for my family, my parents were in a rental home and 5 brothers and 1 sister. But the earlier days, my sister wasn't born. So the 5 brothers, we all packed like sardine in the living hall because we grew up in a rental home that has got no room. So my mom and dad have a space with a curtain while we are all sleeping on the living hall. That was at Lengkok Bahru. So to me, as I was growing up, I felt that one of the good things that people can have is privacy and having a room and a shelter, and somehow property was close to my heart. And cut the story short, over time, while I was even in the armed forces and when I was getting to know my then girlfriend and my wife, we had a lot of passion about property. Similarly, she also had a very big family with many siblings, also in a HDB 3-room flat. So that's why our property was close at our heart, and we eventually decided to take this path.
Despite the difficulties, how did it feel for you, at that point in time to be among the pioneers from the Malay Muslim community?
When I came into the real estate business, the mere fact that we were able to work with other partners is because, again, people see the leadership qualities in what I was able to bring to the table and the broad vision that we can work together. Therefore, I still believe that it is this diversity and as well as the meritocracy culture of Singapore that help us to grow to where we are in adding greater value.
Your company became the only Malay real estate to be listed on the Singapore Stock Exchange. So perhaps you can share, what does that achievement mean to you?
We were not the first Malay Muslim real estate company. There were many. I think not 1, not 2, more than 10. In fact, when we started the business in 1996 as Norris Consultants, there were, as I said, many others. But we brought a very fresh perspective. Our focus has always been training and as well as value. My wife was an army officer and I was an army officer, and she was in School of Method of Instruction and she got a certificate, Masters in Education and Training. So we were very clear-minded so that the only way we can bring greater professionalism in the business is through training of the salespeople. So I would say I'm proud to be truly a homegrown Singapore brand to be listed in the main board as the largest real estate company in Singapore, with many our community, Malay Muslim agents, as well, growing together from the Norris time, embracing the new methodologies, new training, integrating with all races, learning the skills, cross-selling. Today, many of our community Malay agents are also versatile in selling commercial, not only to their own community, but across the board. That's how we have lifted everyone, because Singapore spirit of multicultural meritocracy.
A lot of people are actually very proud of your
Yeah.
achievements over the past almost 3 decades or so. What are you most proud of?
PropNex has got 13,600 salespeople, and we did last year 92,000 transactions in one single year, whether is it rental, sales, leasing, or commercial space, and so on. So the proudest moment is about making a difference in the life of people who need these real estate needs, and in the process, helping the salespeople grow their career. And because we have put in place training and tech support, many of our salespeople are productive. And that is the proudest moment every time I see the life of my people who are doing well and making a difference for their loved ones.
When you first started, it was you and your wife. You had each other to lean on when things get tough and rough. But when, the challenges are really too great, who do both of you actually lean on for support?
I think the good thing here is this: both of us are military officers. So we have gone through officer cadet school from the BMT time to being commissioned is 1 year to rough it out. So we can stand on our own. So we depend on each other. But there's also a difference. I realize running the company as Norris is different from running a corporation as PropNex. When we started off Norris, it was very much easy and fun going. Visualize nasi lemak stall where husband and wife, husband is the chef, wife is the sous chef, you are the purchasing manager, you are the customer relation, both of you in the same stall, moving in, moving out, rubbing each other along the way, and you have a day. That means the decisions was all confined to between the two of us, and we can be overcome many challenges and shortfalls. When we went into the boardroom of PropNex, we had 10 directors, 5 different companies, and to be more precise, 6 men and 4 women. Husband, wife, and husband, wife. And it is not easy. Yep. The starting years were very tough. At times I thought, did I do the right thing? Doubt start to creep into me. Because at boardroom, sometimes we cannot agree on certain issues. And it went so tough that within 2 years, I had the biggest root shock. After 2 years, one of my biggest partner choose to leave us. But that's okay, anybody to leave us. But the way I heard the news was a shock. I wasn't aware. We were all together in the same office. My biggest partner then decided to not continue the journey with us. But they have put an advertisement in the media, severance of ties announcement. And they've also sent a press release about this departure. But I, as a CEO, don't know. And I only
Indeed, a
come
rude shock,
to
yeah.
knew from journalists calling me, am I sending my press release? And that was the leader, this leader, PropNex CEO then. So these were all some of the toughest moments, I must say. And I started to even question, am I good enough?